Today I'm going to show you how to make these amazing, fun, acrylic pour skins, sheets, whatever you want to call them. This is Michelle Théberge, and on my channel we learn not only how to paint, but how to live a creatively satisfying life. Okay, so you can use these for collage, for putting in paintings. I'm going to show you some artists here who use them. One of my favorites is Beatrice Melez, a Brazilian artist, has these gorgeous, colorful paintings. I use them in my own work. So let's get started. What is an acrylic skin? It's basically a sheet of acrylic that's not adhered to a substrate. A substrate would be your paper, your canvas, your art journal. So you can use these for mixed media collage, for scrapbooking, for putting in paintings, even adhering to sculpture, wood. It adheres to a lot of stuff. So it's very versatile. You could even use it, just kind of suspend them, 3D. I've done that before. So first, let me show you what you're going to need for this project. Okay, so this is what you need to get started. You're going to want, of course, some pouring medium. I have a gloss one and a matte one. I like to use them separately. Sometimes I intermix them. And then your colors. So the thinner the color, the better. If you're not sure about viscosity of acrylic paint, watch my 4 types of acrylic paint video. We'll link it. But what I have here is the golden fluid, the golden high flow, the Liquitex soft body, and the Liquitex ink. They're all little slightly different viscosity, but any of these have worked great for me. Any brand that you like that makes a more fluid paint is what I would recommend. A squeeze bottle, you can recycle any kind of old, whatever, hair conditioner bottle or dish detergent bottle, but you need something to shake them up in and to mix them in. And then I use a bubble level, very important, because otherwise the color will slide off of your palette surface. And this is something extra. I will link these below. There's an Etsy seller who makes these. They help level your board that you put your material on, your palette on. But I have done that DIY for years, so you don't have to have these. These are optional. Then I've got some painting racks, my favorite palette, the TriArt palette, an apron, and some nitrile gloves. Now that you've got your materials, let's make some acrylic skins. So this step is optional. This is something I've evolved because I am in an old building that is not level. If you have a level table in a level house or studio, you don't need to do this. But what I do is, since this table is not level, I have covered this board in some Tyvek. You can use plastic or whatever, something that acrylic doesn't stick to. And then I have the levelers that I showed you earlier. So I'm going to place this board down on here. And then I'm going to take my handy dandy bubble level. So you can see there, it's got this little bubble in some kind of liquid oil. And you want to center it between all the lines. So I'm going to put it down there, and I can see that it is not centered. So I'm going to start screwing down these levels. So I can screw and unscrew these to raise and lower any corner. Probably should have this further out on the corner. And that's how I get it level. So these are a wonderful little tool for me. I used to use plastic shims, just cutting up plastic like yogurt tubs or whatever to level things. So however that works for you, this is just a little more precise tool. All right, so for making acrylic skins, you have an option to make them opaque or transparent, and that depends on the pigments that you choose. So if you use an opaque pigment, like say this Perol Red, that will make a more opaque skin. And if you are not sure which are transparent, opaque, I have a handout, we'll link it below. But I like how Golden has these little bars, and they'll actually brush a sample of the actual paint over it so you can see how transparent it is. And because you can see the 3 black bars, whereas in Carbon Black, it completely obliterates those 3 black bars. And so you know that's an opaque pigment. So just however you want them to be in the end, that's up to you. I have been doing a lot of transparent ones because I like to layer them, and it's sort of like when I paint with glazes, I put them on top of each other and it makes new combinations. Now what you're going to want to do is start with the pouring medium. I use a squeeze bottle because you really have to shake them well. Otherwise you might end up with streaks like this, but that's beautiful. So just as long as you want that, but if you want a smooth, even coat of the color, you really have to shake them well and let them rest for 20 minutes to get rid of any air bubbles. So I'm going to fill this up. I mean, I don't have to fill it up if I only want a little bit, but I'm doing a lot of paintings of these, so I'm going to make a full bottle of this color. But I'm not going to fill it up completely. I'm going to leave maybe the top quarter of the bottle just because shaking and mixing will work better. And the other thing is, if you end up having to wipe off these bottles, I would make sure that you use water because these will, the lid, once you screw it on there, you will never get it off again. It's happened to me so many times. So I'm going to get some water and just clean off the top of that before I put the lid on. But first we're going to add the color. So one thing to know is that when, say, the acrylic inks, because the binder in them is so fluid, it's like water, the pigment will settle to the bottom. So what you need to do is shake them back and forth gently. If you shake them vigorously, you're going to create a lot of air bubbles again. And we're trying not to get air bubbles in these skins, but maybe that'll be part of your process. So just gently back and forth does enough to incorporate the pigment better. This one's been sitting for a long time, so guess what? I'm going to just shake it vigorously and then I'll have to let it rest. Most of the time I don't have to do this, but this may have been sitting on my shelf for 5 years without being mixed. It's not a color I use very often anymore. Could have even been longer. Poor little guy. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, but you see all those air bubbles that I created in there, so that's not going to be good to use until it rests and the air bubbles are gone. But these other ones that maybe I use more frequently, they will incorporate a lot more easily, so I don't have to do that much. So I'm just going to start off with a couple of drops because I really want these particular skins to be quite transparent. I mean, that's not a couple. And now I'm going to shake it vigorously. All right, so I'm going to really shake this a lot. I've done this so many times, and it's more shaking than you'd think. Okay, so you can see that there's still some streakiness in it, so it's not finished mixing. Keep going. Okay, I'm going to do a little test drop. Yeah, it's still a little streaky. Still a little streaky. I think part of the thing is there's some stuff in the lid. I think what happened is the initial color got in the lid, so I'm sort of tempted to pour it out of the bottle directly. Just see what happens. Yeah, well, nope, still needs shaking. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I like it. I think I'm done shaking. So I need to let this bottle rest for 20 minutes to get rid of any air bubbles that were created by all that vigorous shaking. So while the green bottle is settling for 20 minutes so that all the air bubbles have a chance to rise to the surface, I've got this one that's already rested, and I'm going to pour with it now. I've got my Tri-Art palette, which happens to be my very favorite palette to do this on because it's very smooth, and when the blobs peel up, they will not have any imprint of texture of anything. They'll just be perfectly clear on the bottom. I can just have fun making shapes, blobs,
lines, letting them run into each other, because I'm going to peel all this stuff up after. I can make some straight lines. They won't stay straight lines. See, it keeps moving and migrating. If you notice that everything keeps getting bigger. And then I can add other colors. This time I'm just going to use some clear and mix that in. Sometimes I do blobs inside of blobs. It's really fun just to see what happens. And because I'm going to be collaging with these, I get to edit out, and use what's interesting to me and what's not. And then even if I like, I can drop some acrylic ink in here. This is always really fun because these little drops of ink will migrate and make shapes and things as it dries. And the thing I like about this Tri-Art palette, as opposed to using plastic or palette paper or freezer paper, is that it's perfectly smooth, has no texture on it, as long as I'm careful not to scratch it. So when I peel these up, they won't have any embossing or imprinting of any texture from the substrate. They'll just be perfectly smooth and clear. Another fun thing that I like to do with this is tilting, and what happens is it slides the layers. So this clear is sliding over the purple and some of the purple's under the clear. You can create some interesting effects with that too. All up to you. You'll probably come up with your own ideas too. Just have fun, play, and experiment.
So when your acrylic skins are dry, you get to peel them up, which is super fun and satisfying. It just lifts right up really easily, like that. And one little thing is that I can tell these are not fully cured because there's this little haze here, this little white haze, whereas it's more clear where the acrylic was thinner. All that means is that there's still some water molecules trapped in the paint film, and once those dry, the whole thing will go clear. But it takes longer because it's on plastic. There's nowhere for the water to evaporate except on the top. And I happen to be in a very humid environment and cool. It's been very cool out, so these are taking a lot longer than if you live in the desert. Years ago, way faster. These have been drying and curing for about over a week. Okay, so this is 2 weeks later. I wanted to show you how it clarified, but it did take a significant amount of time. We're talking almost 4 weeks. I think these were clear about a week ago, maybe between 3 and 4 weeks where I am. So I am very close to a large body of water. There's always some moisture in the air and the temperatures are cooler. My studio happens to be a cool place, ground floor, concrete floor. So that's just my conditions. Yours will vary. So it's important to remember when you're doing this pouring technique is that you do it in temperatures above 9 degrees Celsius or 49 degrees Fahrenheit. Because otherwise you could get some cracking as it dries. Acrylic films become brittle at around 44 degrees. Every formulation might be slightly different off of that time. But I've talked about the glass transition point. That's what we're concerned about. So try and make sure you're doing it in a warmer season, because if you turn off your lights and your heater and go home and your studio or workspace or garage gets really cold, you're likely to have cracking.
So when they're done and I'm not quite ready to use them, for this project I'm gathering a lot of them and I'm going to use them all at once. So I need to store them safely, and they will stick to each other. They will stick to everything, paper, canvas, each other. So you don't want to stack them like that because then they'll just all be glued together. So what I do is I cut these sheets of silicone release paper and I put them in a box, and then I just peel them off and lay them in here like little cookies. This part is so fun and satisfying. I love peeling them off. It just feels so great. And then they're ready for me when I'm ready for them.
So how do you get them to stick to the surface? Well, any acrylic medium or paint actually functions pretty well as a glue, and that's exactly what I use. I tend to use acrylic gel medium for collaging these on because it'll dry clear so you won't see it. That's what I used here. I spread it on with a knife on the back and then paste it where I want. It feels like the texture of paste and it's permanent. It works great. It's archival. It's flexible. All right, so now that you've got all these wonderful poured acrylic sheets, what can you do with them? Here's an example of something I did. Now you can put them on canvas or panels, add them into any paintings that you're making. This is a collage on paper. And you can see I have just a large disc of acrylic here that to me functions almost like a glaze would in watercolor or in a painting. So have fun with it. Enjoy, just play around, see what happens. You might come up with some really interesting ideas. I would love to hear what your ideas are after watching this video. And if you were inspired to make something, share this video with someone else so you can inspire them as well. Let me know your ideas, what you thought. Questions are great. Definitely check out the links. I have all the materials linked below. And happy painting. See you in the next one, especially if you subscribe, then you'll know when the next one's coming out.